They live under one roof, eat and work together. Elias, David, and Pastor Gerhard Meyer are all Christians. And Pastor Meyer wants to help his fellow Christians. He's given them sanctuary in his church. Elias and David are two among thousands of refugees in Germany who face deportation.
I know we can't help all of these people. There are only a few we can assist. The great bulk of them pass us by. The large numbers on television and those who drown in the Mediterranean remain nameless refugees. We can only support those we meet face to face.
In sanctuary, David and Elias have spent most of their time in the parish hall. They're using much of that time to learn German. Elias and David share a room.
This is my bed, and that's his.
Okay. Mir Sport machen. Kannst du mir ein paar Tobes geben?
Do you sometimes miss your families?
Ja.
Yes, I miss my family, my mother and father, and reading.
And David?
Yes, I have my father, but no family anymore. My mother's gone.
Okay, das ist gut. Hallo, das ist meine Familie. Mein Vater heißt Robert. Ist Lehrer.
Elias, here on the left, fled his home country of Eritrea 3 years ago. His 7 sisters and brothers fled with him. They now live dispersed all over Europe. One brother didn't survive the journey. He drowned with 500 other people in the Mediterranean.
Das Symbol auf der Eisfläche abbildet.
David is 22, just as old as Elias, but much more introverted. Every day he works for the parish clerk in a church in Tostedt, near Hamburg. His friend Christian helps him. He too is a migrant, but he's already been recognized as an asylum seeker. That means he can move about freely, and he's David's link to the outside. He brings him food and tobacco. David's situation is precarious because German asylum law is complicated. Only here on church property is he currently safe from deportation. The church says David has a right to sanctuary. Despite help from the parish, it's distressing.
I think it's good that at least he can do something out here in the churchyard, because I could not imagine him just sitting inside 4 walls. It'd be like imprisonment.
Good morning.
This walkway is their border. Even though the police could arrest him here, on the church side he's left in peace, as his friend Christian explains.
The church premises ends here, not there. So most of the time when we are working and we have to go to the church to clean the chairs and the tables, the police is always watching. Sometimes I feel so afraid. I think about him, you know. Anytime we are coming here, I always pray to God that nothing happens, because the police is always going and coming and going and coming. I really feel afraid for him too.
And
We asked David if Christian takes good care of him. He tells us his friend is very caring.
Very caring about my life, always.
David believes God has brought him here from South Sudan to Tostedt in northern Germany. Hans-Ulrich Kunze supports all the refugees in his town, not just those in religious sanctuary. He's a teacher, and although he's actually retired, he knows how important learning German is to live in this country, so he's teaching again. His pupils, among them Elias, are highly motivated, but no one knows how long they'll be allowed to stay. Everyone here knows the German word for fingerprint. As soon as they get to Europe, the migrants are fingerprinted, but hardly any arrive directly in Germany. Many are registered in Italy, Spain, or Bulgaria. That means many face deportation to those so-called safe third countries.
It's a total disaster when you see what it does to individual people. When you see what the refugees here have gone through, this bureaucratic regulation is sometimes completely incomprehensible. I don't know how you can justify it, how you can cold-heartedly subject people to these bureaucratic conditions. That's Fortress Europe, letting nobody in. It's hard to bear.
Und die niemand reingelassen wird. Schwer erträglich.
Lest ihr bitte den Text, der ist...
Time and again, Hans-Ulrich Kunze's pupils are snatched away from him. This week, it's Barasan, a Syrian who'll be deported to Bulgaria. Pastor Meyer has to shelter the refugees for at least 6 months for their asylum applications to be processed in Germany. Legally, they have no protection, but the police would never storm a church. The German Interior Minister has sharply criticized Sanctuary, saying the church is placing itself above the law. But Pastor Meyer says this controversial step is a simple necessity.
It's not about taking a political position or political action. It's about acting for people who are in need here, who are threatened with deportation. I assume that in the countries they'd go to, without the help they get here, they could not exist. That's my motivation for supporting these refugees here.
The congregation is also annoyed at the Interior Minister because he declared church sanctuary to be as illegal as Sharia, Islamic law. But that accusation has made them defiant. For the first time, they're publicizing their sanctuary.
It's good for as many people as possible to know that church sanctuary exists, but also that there are only about 200 in Germany, and it's completely disproportionate to turn it into a political debate.
If you've ever had contact with refugees or spoken to them once, you lose your fears, worries and negative preconceptions right away. They're just gone.
Everyone here is surprised at the extent of the debate. In the 200 church sanctuaries throughout Germany, only about 400 refugees have found protection. In contrast, last year, more than 10,000 were deported. Once a week, congregation members get together with David and Elias. They talk, cook, and eat together.
Who made the soup and peeled the potatoes?
The meeting offers the refugees another opportunity to practice speaking German.
That deserves a thank you.
But one question still looms today. What will happen to the refugees?
Unfortunately, I can't look into the future, but I hope they're on the right path here. I hope they can stay here, where they've begun to integrate themselves and learn the language. And they've made friends, as you can see. I hope there's a future for both of them, a good future that they can make something of.
Toi, toi. Ne?
The congregation hopes the refugees won't have to go back to Italy or Spain, where they'd have to go begging to survive. That's why they're continuing to resist and challenge German asylum law. But although more and more parishes in Germany are doing the same, church sanctuary remains an exception. It's a small signal of help in times when rejection of refugees has grown in Germany. Every Sunday, they all gather for the Lutheran service. David and Elias, their friends from the refugee center, and their supporters from the congregation.
Es ist alles bereitet, nun kommt und trinkt.
Living together in the parish has been productive in Tostedt. By granting sanctuary, Pastor Meyer has brought people together and given Elias hope again. Sanctuary in the church has increased his and David's chances of building a future in Germany.